I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Richard Pryor. When he's good, he's very good. But when he's bad, he's terrific.
No. Get down.
I think Daddy's gonna get a big kick out of you. Yes, sir.
Stick up.
I don't believe I heard you.
Stick up.
Smooth trigger action.
It's a robbery.
Richard Pryor in Some Kind of Hero.
You're making me nervous.
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review, and this is another paid request, this time from Mr. Majestic. Thank you so much for that. If anyone wants to request any other type of videos or topics, reactions, or pretty much any type of videos, you do feel free to send the request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon, and both links are down below in the info box. And I went too fucking fast, because calm down, Matt. The movie I'm talking about today is Some Kind of Hero. Richard Pryor, came out in 1982, and Mr. Majestic wanted my thoughts on it. Now, this is around the same time where he came out with The Toy. A year later, he would do Superman 3. Before this, he had done films like Busted Loose, Stir Crazy. And yeah, because of the success of Stir Crazy, he got quite a good deal from the studios. Now, for what I understand, this is supposed to be a straight up drama, but the studio, Paramount, wanted some funny comedic moments. So in a way, the arm was twisted to put a little bit of comedy into it, but for the most part, it's played fairly fairly straight. And it's interesting to watch, being a fan of Richard Pryor, because he does pull off a very good performance. I know this is shallow of me to say. Part of me do wish it was more of just a goofy comedy. I know that's not fair to the guy. But would you ever assume this is a drama? Again, there's a little bit of comedic moments, but for most part of the drama, would you assume that from this cover? Some Kind of Hero and Some Kind of Mess. And when you see this, it makes you think it's going to be equivalent to Stripes with Bill Murray, which is not the case. And if I have to be honest, I would rather have seen a Richard Pryor version of Stripes. With that said, again, I don't mind the film because Richard Pryor does a good job as, what was his character's name? Eddie Keller. Corporal Eddie Keller, who, he's in Vietnam. Oh, funny enough, who directed this is Michael Pressman. Who is Michael Pressman? The same guy that directed Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze. So yes, the same guy that we're going to direct Secret of the Ooze directed this film. So that surprised the shit out of me. And then funny enough, you got Margot Kidder, which they would both be in Superman 3, but they didn't have any scenes together because they wrote out Margot Kidder. And it's weird. Richard Pryor was with Lois Lane before he was in a Superman movie. Now, the first 25 or so minutes is in Vietnam. And very early on, you get Tim Thomerson. Like, one of the first scenes is Richard Pryor going through the jungle, and Tim Thomerson is with him. For those who don't know who Tim Thomerson is, he was the star of the Transfer films. He was in Uncommon Valor. He's been in quite a bit of stuff. Very solid actor. Very underrated actor. I wish he was in the film more. But yeah, he's only in the film a teeny bit. Then I guess gets killed off screen. And I do think one of the issues I have with the film is it does have a tone that's a bit off kilter. I mean, the beginning of the film is, Tim Thomerson talking about how he needs to, I gotta go take a shit. And Richard Pryor's like, well, come on, man, shit in your pants. And so Tim Thomerson runs off, gets killed off screen. Richard Pryor takes his pants down. The Viet Cong grab him and capture him. That's a weird way for the film to start, and then to go into, he spends like 5-6 years in a POW camp. And again, this goes on for like 25 or so minutes. He meets this guy, this other POW guy, played by Ray Sharkey, and they want him to sign a confession, but he's like, you want me to sign this? You don't even know how to fucking fix roaches, man. Because he's eating, there's roaches in the food. He's friends with this little mouse. He plays basketball with his Viet Cong. The guy he befriended is getting sick, and he's like, okay, fine, I'll sign the confession. Just give him a doctor. And because he signed the confession, then he goes home. So, by this point, and then he meets Ronnie Cox, who works with the military and is very nice to Richard Pryor. And it's nice to see Ronnie Cox in there. I mean, he was in Beverly Hills Cop. He was in RoboCop, Total Recall. He does a good job here. And then once he's gotten home, his life is pretty much gone to shit. His wife is having an affair. He has a kid, but he can't see the kid. His mom has had a stroke and is in a fucking a home. And then he can't get the money to pay for the stuff because they found out he wrote a confession. And again, there's a lot of stuff I go, like, that's a lot of serious stuff for a film that at the very beginning, one of the first bits of dialogue is, God, take a shit. Again, it's because Paramount, I do think it would have worked better if it was either straight up drama or straight up comedy. I think, and I blame the studio more than the makers of the film. So I do think that's one of the issues with it. Now, what was I going to say? Like, the reason to see the movie is for Richard Pryor to do something a little bit different, and I understand that, and I appreciate that. Being a big fan, I love See No Evil, Hear No Evil. I even like the toy, Sue Me. I don't mind Brewster's Millions. I love Superman 3. I don't give a fuck. I like Superman. I love Superman 3. I love Superman 3. Bustin' Loose, very fun. Stir Crazy, good movie. I like Critical Condition. And he has a lot of nice moments, like after finding out his wife's having an affair, and he's laughing because he's losing it, and when she's like, you want a divorce? He's like, I don't know, man, this is a big deal, I just have to take time to consider it, that sort of disbelieving laughter that he has, or when he visits his mom and then sees the condition she's in, and he walks over and he's like crying next to her tree. It's not over the top, it's not corny, it's not silly. It's Richard playing that very well, and I'm sure at this point he's like, thank you for letting me play something a bit more, so I'm not just a silly guy. And Margot Kidder, she does a good job too. And she is a prostitute. There is a scene where the two of them have sex, and then he gets a blowjob from Margot Kidder in a bathtub. So it just made me think, wow, he fucked and got Lois Lane. He fucked Lois Lane, and Lois Lane sucked his dick before meeting Superman. So that's why Lois Lane. See, we don't know Lois Lane. She may be doing other stuff under a different name to get some more money. You never know, because if you could make this maybe a prequel to Superman 3, because he stole money at the end. He ran away with Margot Kidder. Then he had to change his name to Gus, so that he wouldn't be fucking. If anyone's looking for that money he stole, so he changed his name to Gus. Still trying to figure out what to do. Somehow Lois knew he was coming, so he's like, I'm going to leave, I'm going to take this trip, I'm going to take this job. It's a weird way to think of it when you watch the film. Like, wow, he fucked Lois Lane, and Lois Lane sucked his dick. It is one of those things where when it got to halfway through, I'm going, where's this movie going? Like, where's this movie going? Because it takes a good chunk in Vietnam, and then just him getting settled down in the psychological shit kicked out of him. And ultimately he decides, you know what, I need to rob something. Because there's these guys who rob something, and he's like, I'm going to do it myself. And also it's a fun little bit where you realize just how realistic toy guns were back in the day. Some people might not know this at all. You look at toy guns back in the day, they looked fucking real. They looked like a real gun. This is before putting the orange and making them so cartoonish that no one would ever take it seriously. No, back in the day, you need a water pistol, whatever, it would look like a gun. Not the case nowadays. And then so you have a lot of serious moments, then it goes back to comedy, like he's trying to rob, he screws up, and he hit the water pistol accidentally, so it looks like he pissed himself, and people are laughing at him. He tries to rob another place, but the old woman beats him and runs him off. And then we get to the finale where he does rob something from these two guys, and it's bonds, and then makes a deal to make a switch for the money. I don't really think the finale really has a sense of urgency or danger. Because pretty much him waiting at a motel, and then there's these two guys, and then he's fighting these two guys. And Richard Pryor a lot of things, but he's not a physical fighter. So when he's doing these punches, they're not really that great. But that's because he's not an action star. He's not, that type of guy. So it is what it is. And again, this is not really like the finale is kind of almost like a I don't know what analogy I could use for it. It just ends kind of blasé. Fights these two guys, puts on his suit, walks out, cops go past him. There's Margot Kidder. He has the money. And everything works out well. So, like I said, there's not really a big sense of danger or tension or or hilarity in your finale, and there are moments that's trying to be funny, and it just... If this did not star Richard Pryor, if it starred some actor that I didn't know of, I would say this is just a pretty forgettable film. If it starred some guy who's fresh off the streets and boom, they put him in this movie, I'd be like, it's not horrible, it's not terrible, it's not that bad, it's just not that great. But again, the one thing that, well, two, Margot Kidder, Ronnie Cox, it was nice to see him in it. But in particular, if you want to see Richard Pryor in a little bit more of a serious role, if you want to see what Richard Pryor is a little bit more what he's capable of, and I don't even get the cover, like, he never wears this in the movie. He never wears this in the film. So I don't know where the hell this came from. This outfit. And some kind of hero, I don't even know really how the title comes into play with the movie. And like Ray Sharkey, they build that character up at the beginning. He's a guy who he befriends POW camp. But then you only see him in the next hour one time, and that's it. You would think, okay, Ray Sharkey, hey buddy, you helped me out. Listen, you're getting all this trouble because of me, and you signed it because of me to save my life. Let me help you, man. Repay you the favor. I'll help you do this. I'll help you do that. No, none of that's the case. So then it kind of made me go, what was the whole... I don't want to say what was the point. I know what the point was, but just... You built up the Ray Sharkey character, and then... The next hour, you only see them one time with... Where they're in their uniforms... And they say goodbye. In like a 30-second scene. I don't know, just... You would think they would have done more with that character that Ray Sharkey plays. So for me, it does have a lot of flaws for me. It's not a film I rewatch a lot. It's based on a book by James Kirkwood, who did the screenplay. But like I said, Paramount forced him to put humor into it because it's Richard Pryor. But at the same time, Richard wanted a lot of the seriousness kept in to do something different. Like I said, it would not be in my top 10 favorite Richard Pryor films. It's not a movie I hate, though. Because Richard does a good job. Richard, I'm a big fan of Pryor. He does good. And Margot Kidder, it's a little different role. It shows she could do more than just play Lois Lane. And that was nice to see. Other than that, I really don't know what else to say. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.